Compassion creates brain states, and brain states are very important for us to understand, and they're quite simple to describe actually. Brain states are simply combinations and patterns of how things like attention, thinking, emotions, body experiences, how they all come together to form a pattern. Okay? So imagine laying in your bed one night and you are worrying about something. Something's really worrying you. Notice what would be happening in your brain, what you would be paying attention to. Where would your thoughts go? Maybe they would turn into loops in your mind. What's happening in your body? What's happening to your heart rate? Okay. Now, supposing that you put that out of your mind and your mind now switches to being angry or annoyed and you're starting to remember somebody that really annoyed you. What's happening in your brain now? Well, there's going to be different circuits being stimulated because now you're into anger. That'll have a different interplay in your body. That'll cause different changes in your muscles and so forth. So you'll be in a different brain state. And if you're thinking about going on holiday tomorrow, again, you'll be in a different brain state, different attention, different feelings, different set of thoughts, different processes going off in your body. And if you're laying there thinking naughty thoughts, we won't say what they are, but then you will actually redirect blood flowing. Your blood will flow to different parts of your bodies to give you a sense of arousal. Now, we kind of all know that, but we don't always appreciate just how powerful our minds are in controlling and regulating and generating these brain states. Because these brain states, when they get going, if we're not careful, they can literally take us over. So when we get into an angry mind, we can find it sometimes difficult to get out of that mind. And angry minds think in a certain way. They pay attention in a certain way. Or when we're in an anxious mind. Okay, anxious minds think in a certain way. They pay attention in a certain way. They stimulate your brain in a certain way. Your body feels a certain way. So understanding these brain states are very important. What about compassion? Well, compassion is a brain state. Think for a moment, imagine you're laying in your bed and you're remembering somebody that's been extremely helpful to you, just been through a difficult part of your life, and maybe one of your friends was there supporting you, talking to you, whatever. How are you feeling when you think about them? What's it like to feel grateful? What's it like to have that sense of pleasure? Maybe it's like warm feeling that, oh, this person was so helpful to me. That's a brain state of experiencing compassion. And what's it like if you were the person to help your friend? Maybe they were struggling to go to hospital or whatever, and you helped them, and they got through the ordeal that they were so frightened of, and they come back and they say, thank you so much, your help was so important to me. It's helped me get through a very difficult period of my life. How do you feel? When we experience being compassionate, that also creates a brain state. Now, these are important, these brain states, because we now know that compassion brain states, these experiences of giving and receiving compassion, have amazing effects on the body. They affect your immune system. They affect how your frontal cortex works. They affect how you see yourself. They affect how your autonomic nervous system works. They affect your cardiovascular system. When we generate compassionate brain states, we generate a whole range of physiological and psychological and social changes that are going to be very helpful to us. And these brain states, compassion brain states, can be used to offset anxious and angry and distressed brain states. So when you become into an anxious mind or angry mind, you can learn to take a moment to slow down, to breathe in a certain kind of way and think to yourself, okay, if I was in my compassionate mind, what would my compassionate mind think about this right now? What would my compassionate mind want to do? What would be the wisest and most courageous thing? So by deliberately turning to and switching on compassionate brain states, you will discover wisdoms and strengths that perhaps you didn't realize you had. So compassionate brain states then are a really important thing to practice generating in your life. And when you do that, over time, it'll have a lot of amazing impacts on you. It'll even change your brain, because we know your brain changes by what you practice. This is called neuroplasticity. There have been studies showing that people who practice compassion can literally change some of the circuits in their brain. So compassion is well worth exploring and developing as a brain state.